Okay, so getting back into our coverage over Spawn for Spawn Sundays, we do pick up with Spawn issue number 86. Now, this picks up right after the 9-part story arc where you have Spawn dealing with Billy Kincaid coming back from hell, being this demonic ghost. Now, with all that being said, this is now Spawn once again wondering what in the world to do with his new life. Because remember, when it comes to Spawn, he's supposed to be the key to stop the war between heaven and hell. And apparently, a child is going to help him stop that war. But the problem is, every single time Spawn does something, he's really helping out Malbolgia and Malbolgia's army of hell. And so Spawn is kind of tired of being a pawn for Malbolgia. And so right now you have Spawn telling Cagliostro that he wants to give up again. He's tired of being a pawn. He's always tired that every single action he takes is actually the wrong action. Now, here's the thing. You have Cagliostro once again trying to tell Spawn, you just need to sit down and think everything through before you take another step or do something that could affect you down the road. But this is Spawn saying, no, I am done, I quit, leave me alone. And so this leads into Cagliostro just walking away temporarily, thinking that Spawn just needs some time to chill out. But right after he leaves, well, Spawn is confronted by himself as a ghost. Yes, you heard that right, because out of nowhere, a ghost of Al Simmons before he was murdered arrives to talk to our big boy Spawn. Now, when it comes to Spawn, he's kind of wondering, is this another trick by Malbolgia? The idea of seeing his past self in front of him. Now, this could be a trick, but we're not told that. Instead, what we are told is that when it comes to this ghost, his goal is to help Spawn realize he needs to let go of everything from his past life. Wanda, Terry, his friends, Jason Wynn, that was your past life. When you had died, that was the end of that life. You are now Spawn. That means you have to take on a new kind of life. But at the same time, he wants Spawn to realize to stop being a pawn for Malbolgia. Stop doing things so recklessly, because now you are hurting other people and you are bringing in new kinds of characters, new kinds of evil characters into New York and causing problems for people who thought you were their friend. And he is talking about the homeless people. Because let's not forget, you had characters like Freak, Overkill, and the list goes on, Curse as well, that has done a lot of damage to Rat City. And so is Al telling Spawn, let go my past life, but also you need to realize that you are hurting all these new people that you have built a bond with. But then the big question comes in. What about Wanda? And again, the ghost says, why in the world would I want you to hold on to her? She's mine. And what the ghost is saying is that, no, that part right there belongs to this life. The love you had for Wanda, the marriage you had with Wanda, that was not your Spawn life, it was the Al Simmons life. When you died, that died as well, which means you have to let that go. You can't just stay here and continue to cling on to that. Matter of fact, she does not want Spawn, what she wants is Al Simmons. Now that right there makes Spawn very angry, but the ghost of Al Simmons is correct though. Because when it comes to Wanda, she married Al Simmons. She did not marry Spawn. Even though they are the same person, when she sees Spawn, she's kind of freaking out all the time. And she has a hard time believing that this is her ex-husband who came back from the dead. And so the ghost is saying, no, Wanda has moved on. You need to move on. Move on, because she was part of your life as Al Simmons, not as Spawn. Let go. And like I said, Spawn gets so angry. He gets very angry hearing that the man goes ahead and kills off his ghost. And the point of that right there to say, let go. Let go of your past life. Kill it off. Be Spawn. Be a better Spawn, but just be Spawn. But once you have Spawn go back to Rat City, he tells all the different homeless people that he had built connections with, bonds with, to get the heck out of there. It's him saying, Rat City belongs to me, and I don't want anybody here at all. Now, of course, you have everyone wondering what in the world is he talking about? Because in reality, these folks were there before he was. Now, once he arrived, yes, he did bring a lot of trouble, but at the same time, he was their protector. But he's now saying, get out of here. Get out of Rat City. And when you have people question him, like Bobby, somebody who was a very close friend of Spawn, Spawn is not trying to explain himself. He's saying, get the heck out of here, leave now. And he tells Bobby, I'm no longer Al Simmons. I'm just Spawn. And that goes back to the whole ghost idea, confronting him about, letting go of your past. And so that leads into Cagliostro appearing. And once Cagliostro does appear, he's kind of like, Spawn, what are you doing? You need to calm down. But Spawn says, no, I'm done. I'm done being Al Simmons. I'm done being a pawn for other people. I am tired being used as a way to help win some kind of war between two forces. I'm done being some kind of key to stop the war. It's time for me to think for myself. It's time for me to stop playing their games. So I quit. Now, Cagliostro wants to tell Spawn so bad, you need to stop and actually think everything through. Listen to yourself. Listen to what you are saying. But Spawn is not trying to listen. Instead, it's Spawn saying, no, I quit, I give up, and I am done. And so we pick up with a character known as Ethan Cron. Now, when it comes to Ethan Cron, he is more of a writer who is trying to write a book about Spawn. Here's the problem. See, when it comes to Spawn, in the Rat City, he's well known. A lot of different homeless people know Spawn very well because he has gone his way to protect them, but at the same time, they have been involved in a lot of his mess. Now, outside of Rat City, well, yeah, he's a myth because not a lot of people know about him. And so when it comes to Ethan Cron, word got out to his area about the idea that there's some guy known as Spawn who lives in Rat City, who has all these different kinds of powers. But again, when it comes to the people outside of Rat City, it's technically a myth. It's a rumor. But for the people in Rat City, oh no. It's not a rumor. It's not a myth. It's the real thing. And so Ethan has traveled to Rat City to learn more about Spawn. Now, like I said, Ethan is a writer. And at first, I believed that he was going to be some kind of major character in the world of Spawn comics. Well, I found out he only appears 6 times in Spawn comics. And this is the last time. And so we are going to watch him travel around Rat City to hopefully learn the real story of Spawn. And so you have Ethan go around and begin to interview different people who may have had connections with Spawn. Now, at first, the first few people he does interview are really people who are just random. They heard the rumors, and of course, they came to Ethan about the idea of like, hey, we have heard about Spawn and we want to tell you stories. But of course, these stories are not real. But after those interviews, well then, we see him being able to interview different people who are close to Spawn, like Bobby, Sam and Twitch, Wanda and Terry. But at the very end of all the different interviews, we get an unknown character. Now, at first, you may believe, okay, this character is probably a nobody. But here's the thing. He is going to be very important in later stories when it comes to Spawn. But when he is interviewed by Ethan, he tells Ethan, listen, Until you are able to give me hard evidence that Spawn exists, some kind of hell spawn creature, but other kind of creatures as well exist alongside with him, then come to me. I want to see your proof. And this guy's kind of challenging Ethan to see if Ethan is able to, crack down this barrier that's blocking the idea of humans finding out about demons and angels. But either way, this guy disappears at the end of the interview. But like I said though, he is going to be very important in later stories when it comes to Spawn comics. And so you have Ethan getting tired of interviewing different people. And so he went into Rat City hoping to find Spawn, to prove that Spawn is real. Now, when it comes to his camera crew, they dip out. They're like, dude, no, there's no way that we are going to go with you into this crazy place known as Rat City that's filthy and has all these different kinds of crazy people. Nah, we are not going to go in there. You're on your own. Bye. And so you have Ethan continue on. But when he does, he's confident. But then that confidence goes away very quickly because it seems like he does run into Spawn, except when he does, he begins to freak out. He's kind of wondering what kind of being is he seeing at the moment, and he just wants to get away. And if he can't, kill him off quickly because Spawn scared him that much. Right after that, you didn't have Ethan be confronted by Cogliastro. Now, when it comes to Cogliastro, he begins to realize that Ethan is here to write a story about Spawn. Except when it comes to Cogliastro, he does not want to tell Ethan really anything at all. Now, the main reason why, because as we saw at the end of the last chapter, Spawn quit. He's done being Spawn. He's tired of being used as a pawn for both hell and heaven. And so when it comes to Ethan, when he begins to ask Cogliastro, hey, do you know anything about Spawn? Cog says, no, I don't know anything because there is no Spawn. Spawn never did exist at all. And Cogliastro walks away. And so we're left to believe that Spawn has officially quit. He's no longer going to try to be a hero or try to stop the war. It's more of saying that he is long gone and it's time for everyone to move on. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.